Kapow, look at that. Happy Friday. It's Friday, November 1st. Did you miss me? I missed you guys, man. We haven't done a PilotJam in over a month. It's been a long time, but, you know, we've had issues. We've had issues with weather. We've had issues with content. We've had issues with shipments. We've had issues with travel. It's just been one thing after another. It's like a crazy string of events that led to kind of a suspension of the PilotJam. And then we had EdgeTX Fest 2024, which really, you know, for a couple of weeks there, it got a little hectic, you know, getting ready for that. So, but anyway, look at that. Isn't that nice? This was my gift from the EdgeTX team to me for my support of EdgeTX Fest 2024. Isn't that nice? It's a 3D sign. It's lit. It's got this lighting inside, and it plugs in with the little USB cable right there. And I've got it sitting right up in a very prominent spot in my office right now. You walk in, the very first thing you see is this brightly lit EdgeTX sign. And I am officially now an EdgeTX supporter. I'm excited about that. But all seriousness, though, I really had a absolutely fantastic time working with the EdgeTX team in putting on EdgeTX Fest 2024. And before I go any further, I just want to say thanks to the developers, thanks to the team for letting me be part of it. That's all I can say. Fantastic time, fantastic group of friends, fantastic guys. It was really enjoyable, very enjoyable event. And I can tell you, they work hard. Those guys work hard. And I'll give a special call out to Risto, because Risto, he was kind of like the coordinator, taskmaster, and he did a fantastic job kind of organizing things and working on the scheduling. And, you know, he did all the planning and plotting for separating out all the prizes. And I'll tell you what, guys, we didn't quite have the turnout I wanted, but my goodness, did we give away some hardware. I can tell you that the local club, we probably have the most highly penetrated EdgeTX AMA field in the United States of America. I really believe that. We gave away more EdgeTX radios and from all the manufacturers. Radio Master, obviously, Jumper, Beta FPV, FlySky, Hello Radio, they were all there. All made wonderful donations, and boy, did we give out the hardware. Wow, did we give out the hardware. There were some cases where there were two TX16 class radios together in one prize package, along with an airplane and receivers. It was nuts. The sponsors just were absolutely unbelievable. I couldn't believe how much hardware they donated to this event. And then BK Hobbies was there too. They donated some hardware, some servos, hats, swags, pit mats, tools, that kind of stuff. So they stepped up, and there were a couple of gift cards in there. So all the sponsors were just fantastic. Really, really nice of them. So we had a good time. And with that said, I'm going to take my official EdgeTX supporter sign, and I'm going to set it aside because I don't want it to get damaged. And it would be easy enough for that to happen. So I'm just going to set this aside. I've got a lot of stuff to show you tonight, not the least of which are some batteries. And the last thing I want to do is have one of these big old batteries drop through my brand new sign from the EdgeTX team. That was a nice gift. Anyway, we'll do the first game. I posted the video yesterday, and I saw Hobie in first. So Hobie got in first. And then there were a couple of other names, but it kind of reset. So Drummond Stewart is here. How you doing? Johnny Stancil, what's this ELRS Channel 5 wizardry? We're going to talk about that. I had a chance to talk with Bri. Bri showed up. Brian makes a trip, and he comes up. And I really appreciate that too, Brian. Thanks. If you're out there, man, thanks for coming up. It was great to have you there. So we'll talk about that, Johnny. Bill, third, but first to say, yeah, I know. Always a bridesmaid, Bill. Ryan P., what's up, everyone? Brian Chambers, how you doing? Todd Mosley, charging batteries. Be right back. Well, that sounds like a good thing to be doing. Great, Nate. I must say, enjoyed watching Bert fly your 580. Man, you have no idea how happy that made me, because I really, you know, when it comes to Nexus and even the build itself, I don't really stress them the same way that a professional pilot does. So for me, it was really exciting to see that, because he really kind of wrung it out, you know, and I can tell you that what I saw him do gives me all the confidence in the world to do the things that I know how to do. So it was really good to see that. And Bert's commentary on the Nexus setup were right on the mark. So it was good to see that as well. HB Jeff is here. How you doing, Jeff? Jeff was in Discord wondering where's the PilotJam, and I'll just encapsulate Jeff's comment and everybody else's into one. I'm glad you guys like the PilotJam enough to ask so much about it. So thank you for that. And Jeff, we're back, man. We're back. We're back. I told you we'd come back. We just got, life happens. That's all it was. That's all it was. Life happens. Hobie, evening all. How you doing, Shane? Good to see you, my friend. And let's see, Dave Parker is here. Mr. David is here. Dave and I are going to go flying tomorrow. And, that's another call out I got to make in addition to the Edge guys. Dave and Fred, man, they just, Dave shows up to work. And he's kind of like, he's just a worker, man. The guy just never stops. Work. And he shows up to help, and Fred shows up to help. Fred grabbed the camera, and he was out doing videos, doing interviews. He's great color commentary. So I just really appreciate my boys, Dave and Fred, man. You guys are awesome. I really appreciate having you around the channel. Great color commentary, great asset to RC Video Reviews. So thank you for all of your help on EdgeTX Fest. It was, as always, a blast to hang out with you guys. Carlos is here. How you doing? Happy Friday to all. Bill, like is smash. Yeah, hit that smash button. Smash, hit that smash button, huh? Smash the like button. That would be good. Smash the like button. That helps the videos of placement. Patrick Henry says PilotJam withdrawals. Yeah, I know. Hobie says agreed. I got my snacks. Good. We got material to cover tonight. That's for sure. Sir Trumpington is here. How you doing, my friend? Good to see you. And let's see, who did I miss? I get everybody. Robert's here from Canada. Hope you're feeling better, Robert. Just lurking in the background. Robert, yeah, we got him. He's not feeling well, so he's laid up for a little while. He's gonna watch. He can't be at work tonight. He's gonna have to be forced into watching the PilotJam and not working. How about that? Let's see. RC Lando says looks good. Awesome. Let's see. I think I got everybody. Oh wait, who's down here? After Flack. He says thumbs up and party sign. Very good. Radio Master coming out with a new TX16 maybe. I cannot confirm or deny, man. I can't do that. I can't say what I know. It's up to them to announce what's going on. So Tom Evans is here from Utah. How you doing? Let's see. William Tam is here. How you doing, William? And I think that's everybody. Stan Heaton, hello, and that's it. Okay, good. Wow, that was a big list. You guys are active in the chat tonight, huh? Great. Fantastic. All right. Let's get started with the week in review. And regarding the week in review, we had obviously a great deal going on there, right? We had the new RunCam Thumb 2. That was because the reason I say that there's a great deal is because it's been like 5 weeks since we did a PilotJam. So a lot of material, it's like the channel still had material out there, a lot of material on a PilotJam in that time period, but it went all the way back to the RunCam Thumb 2. And then we did the Hoda. That was a nice little camera. In fact, I was so motivated by that camera, I went out and got a RunCam 6. We're going to talk about this little guy tonight. I've got stuff to talk about there tonight. So then next up was the little Hoda T6. That little charger's nice, man. That's a nice little charger. I need to put it in production and kind of use that on a regular basis to get a feel on how it performs over time. But first impressions on that little guy, definitely solid. No concerns about that. Next up was the new EDF Champ, the 90 millimeter Avanti. The Avanti, I can tell you guys, man, every time I fly the Avanti, I'm reminded why I like the Avanti so much. It really is a superb EDF. It really is. It's solid. It's ridiculously good. It flies well. It lands well. It flies for a long time. In-flight performance in the sky is just spectacular. It is really good. Really good stuff. So the Avanti, you'll see more of that on the channel for sure. We're going to be flying that some more and getting that Avanti out. And then next up, you can see I'm kind of loading the desktop up here with batteries. There's a segment on this tonight. We're going to talk about the China Hobbyline battery situation, and I'll let you guys know what's going on there. But as you can see, I'm definitely loading up the desk, and I just need to get a couple more. Wow, there's a lot of them. They're out of reach. So anyway, the China Hobbyline situation, I have an announcement to make. If you're not on Discord, you don't know. If you are on Discord, you might know. But anyway, more to come on that in just a minute. But the China Hobbyline fixed wing flight and bench tests, I saw good performance out of the batteries, and the in-flight testing was solid. And so, I really have hedged away from doing battery videos for so long, and the reason for it is because for every single person that says I love a battery, there will be one person that says I can't stand those batteries. It's just the way it is. I've never been able to figure it out, but it is definitely the way it goes in the battery space. you'll see somebody that advocates and somebody else right behind them says, no, they're terrible, I can't stand them. So I figured what better way to prove it out than by switching everything I have over to China Hobby Line and doing some long-term testing. And that's what we're going to do. And I'll talk about this as we go on. You know, I have a segment on this. So I wanted to load up the desk and share that with you, but we are going to talk about China Hobby Line. And then the last video, we did the EdgeTX Fest 2024 highlight reel. If you haven't watched that one yet, that's a really good video. I had so much fun making that edit. And Freddie left a really nice comment in there. It says, hey, you caught the essence of the event with that video. So if you haven't seen that one yet, go check it out. The highlight reel was pretty cool. And there will be more videos. I have more content coming from EdgeTX Fest, so I'll put more content out there. But I wanted to get that highlight reel out there and let you guys see what the event was all about. And then from that event, we also had Bert, as I mentioned, fly my Raw 580. And he kind of wrung it out a little bit and took it for a joyride and had fun, and it was great. So thanks to Bert. I don't know if Bert watches the PilotJam, probably not, but he is a recent subscriber to the channel. I do know that much, so that's cool. And so if he watches the PilotJam, Bert, we really appreciate you taking that plane, that model helicopter for a ride and ringing it out and giving me your feedback on rotor flight and Nexus. So that was great to see. Always fun to watch the highly skilled pilots fly, right? I always enjoy that. So yeah, it was a lot of fun. So let's see, comments. The RunCam was fire. Yeah, the RunCam so far has been behaving well, and we'll talk about that. I got a segment on that one. Freddie says, I got my OMP M1 with me, Pat. Oh, nice. He's going to do a little flying in the backyard up in Bama. Nice. Thanks, Patrick. I'm living in Alabama. Super nice people here. And some nice firearms I saw, Freddie. Very nice, very nice. Hobie says, I've been using China Hobby Line since 2018. Was a great edit on the EdgeTX Fest. Thanks, Hobie. Appreciate that. Let's see. Kong's Minger MFK. Thumbs up. Very good. Cheesesteak pizza with green peppers. That sounds good. Ted Mosley, I enjoyed seeing the youngsters. Yes, that was one of the best things about EdgeTX Fest was giving those airplanes away. And again, a shout out to FMS. You know, FMS provided the airframes. And they didn't tell me to give them away, but, you know, that was the right thing to do. Without a question of a doubt, that was the right thing to do. Young people flying, and Dave did an amazing job training his students. And I had one of the students, took her for, couple of buddy box rides, and she did an amazing job. She seemed interested in it. Dad has an airplane, and there were plenty of radios there, so we made sure they got radios and airplanes, and hopefully, you know, a couple more youngsters into the hobby. So it was good. Yeah, it was definitely the right thing to do. Without a question of a doubt, that was the right thing to do with those airframes. So brand new airframes for both the boys, the young brothers, and the young lady that was there. Very nice. So, okay. Let's see. That's the week in review. That's EdgeTX Fest. That's the wrap up on EdgeTX Fest. I can tell you, some people were saying that they've got it bookmarked for next year. Unfortunately, I think the Edge team is looking at other venues, and they want to spread it around, which makes sense, right? It's they're always welcome back, but I think their intention is definitely to spread it around. So I don't think they're going to be going to the same place next year. They're going to be going elsewhere. So I'll leave that up to them to announce, although they didn't make a big secret of it at EdgeTX Fest. So, but that said, I'll leave it up to those guys to announce where they're going to go next year. But yeah, it will not be at Lark's next year. So if you missed out, you missed out. You have to plan for the next event in 2025. And hopefully you can make it. I'm thinking I'm probably going to go. We'll see. I'd like to go. I'll put it that way. I'd like to make it. So, okay, that wraps up EdgeTX Fest 2024, and next up are the batteries. Okay, let's talk about these batteries. Fred says, have a wonderful weekend, everyone. I'm out to go stoke the bonfire. Have fun, Fred. Be careful out there, man. Don't get too close. Don't get too close. Okay, so I have an announcement to make. I mentioned this on Discord, and you can probably figure it out seeing this stack of batteries on the table. China Hobby Line and they sent me initially a couple of batteries to test. And, you know, the intention was to do some 12S stick packs for the bigger helicopters. This is a stick pack for a 7 Series helicopter. This will be the Raw 700. Then I also have stick packs for the smaller, the 580 class, so the Kraken and the Raw 580. That's what that's for. And then you can see that I've got a pack for, and this has got the quick connectors. I've soldered the battery mains onto the quick connectors directly. This is a 2200. I'll just loosen it so you guys can see. That's a 2200 China Hobbyline 70C. This is for the raw 420. And this one is a 3300. I'll loosen that strap so you guys can get a look here as well. So that's a 3300. Also, oh, that one's only a 40C 3300. And this one is going to be for the raw 580, or sorry, the raw 500, the raw 500. So, China Hobbyline initially sent me the batteries out to do fixed wing testing and heli testing. So the helicopter testing is coming up. I have flown the China Hobbyline batteries in the helicopter. In fact, the flight with Bert, we were using these batteries, but I haven't had a chance to test them out yet and kind of validate them. So I set the voltage conservatively. So Bert's flight was a little short. And the reason for that is because they're new batteries and it was a new airframe and it was Bert flying. So I definitely set the voltage to be a little conservative because I wanted to make sure we got it down without any incidents, right? If you ever fly somebody else's stuff and you crash it, that makes you feel pretty bad. So I wanted to make sure the batteries didn't cause a problem. So I did set my settings a little conservatively, but we're going to go out and fly these. We're going to test them. We're going to measure. We're going to tune them in, see what kind of flight time we get out of them. But I've got enough battery supply here to go out and do all of my helicopter testing from everything from a 700 all the way down to a, this is backwards, all the way down to a 420 class. So we're going to test those out. And then you'll also notice I've got a 2700 here. This is for like a 64 millimeter jet. I've got a couple of these. I've got a couple of 2200 4 cell, a couple of 2200 3 cell, a couple of 1500 2 cell. These are my flight packs. I put these on the bigger planes. These are the things that power the servo and the receiver. And then I've got a big stack of 6 cell batteries for flight packs. You'll also notice I had to cut off the 3300s come with XT60s. I chopped those off and put on Spark Arrest XT90s. I will cut off these connectors as well and put on Spark Arrest there as well. And you can see up here I've got Spark Arrest. And this one will get Spark Arrest. And I've got more batteries in the box. But the reason I'm showing all of this to you is because I want to let you guys know that China Hobbyline, after I did the fixed wing video, they said, hey, we really liked the video. Thank you very much. And if you need any other batteries, let us know. And I went out and suggested, hey, why don't you sponsor the channel? I'd be willing to use your batteries exclusively. And part of the reason I want to do that is to kind of prove them out. And I'm not going to prove them out by saying, you know, hey, I don't like them or they don't feel good. I'm going to prove them out by flying them and showing you guys how I fly them, right? So you'll see these batteries in my planes. You'll see the flight time. You'll see them on the bench when I do testing. We'll keep an eye on them. We'll run some profiles from time to time. But I want to see how these batteries perform in my hands. I've been convinced so many times that I think a lot of reasons people have problems with batteries. I think sometimes it has to do with equipment or settings or how they're used. So the only way I can prove that to myself is by using them myself. And if I charge them right and discharge them right and store them right and, you know, use them in the way that I think is appropriate to use and they perform, then I'll let you know. If they don't perform, I'll let you know that too. And by the way, there's no contingencies from China Hobbyline. They didn't ask for anything. They just said, okay, here are the batteries, you know, show them on your channel. That's it. That's the testing. So anyway, RC Video Reviews officially, formally is a China Hobbyline shop now, and they are sponsoring the channel. They sent me all these batteries. I bought a few of the odd ones that I didn't put in my list to them, but we're gonna fly them. I'm gonna fly them, and they're gonna be my prime battery. And Dave's gonna be flying them too, and he'll tell you what he thinks. You know, Dave will do that. He's here. He's right there. He's his last comment. He said, "Hey," put his hand up in the air. So. Dave will definitely be flying them, and he will share with you. He'll tell you what he thinks in terms of flight time and in terms of punch and whether or not they're delivering the power he expects. You'll hear that from him. It won't be just me. It'll be Dave as well. And if Freddie shows up with a helicopter, we'll slap one of these in his helicopter too and see what he thinks. All right. So that's it. China Hobbylines. That's the official announcement. RC Landos is where do they ship from? The answer is all over the place. They really do ship from everywhere. They've got warehouses in Australia, in the US, in Europe. They're all over the place, literally. So that's it for the China Hobbyline introduction. I wanted to make sure you guys knew that's what's going on. They're all over. If you guys look at there is an affiliate link in the description of the video, by the way, and that affiliate link will be in the description of every video I post because they are now a channel sponsor. So they'll be in every video I post, but they do ship from all over the place. So the chances are high they have a warehouse in your location. So just go look. That's all I can say. All right, that's China Hobby Line. Let's move on. Oh, the giveaway. The giveaway. How about that? If you guys, again, this is the benefit of being on Discord. If you're on Discord, I told the Discord guys, but I kind of neglected to mention it on the, I got to hide that one. We're not on that yet. I kind of neglected to mention it in the, holy geez, what's going on here? Q&A. All right, there we go. Now we're in good shape. I kind of forgot to mention it in the title of the video, but I did update the video after the fact. And you guys know the deal on the giveaway. Giveaway is simple. This is open to everybody. It doesn't matter where you are. It doesn't matter where you are. Everybody's eligible to win this one. And I will ship this it's really important to pay attention to the rules. Listen up, people. Listen carefully. And I'm only saying that because I don't want you to get scammed. There's a lot of scammers out there. So here's the way it's going to work. I'll announce the giveaway prize in just a minute. But the winner will be picked by software from comments on Wednesday, 11/6. So that's this coming up Wednesday, right? Coming up on Wednesday, on Wednesday evening, sometime late. I'm going to go in and pick the winner. I use software, and I pick the winner from comments. In the comments, you have to use the word gimme or gimme, spelled G-I-M-M-E or G-I-M-M-I-E in your comment. Not in the chat window. Not in the chat window. You have to do it in the comments after the video posts, okay? And you can enter as many comments as you want. I don't care. You can put in 1,000. You can put in 100. The more you enter, the more chance you have of winning. That's just the way it goes. So you got to put a comment at the end of the video. Gimme, gimme, gimme. The winner will be announced on the PilotJam a week from tonight. So on Friday, November 8th, on the PilotJam only. I will not tell the winner that they won in any other form. I won't send an email. I won't have a video posted other than the PilotJam. You won't be contacted on Telegram. There will be no other mechanism by which I will inform the winner, only on the PilotJam. That's important because these stupid scammers, they find ways to contact you and they say, hey, you won, congratulations, give me your credit card number. So don't do that. It's here on the PilotJam, okay? That's the only place I'll announce the winner. Now, after I announce the winner, and obviously I misnumbered, you can see I got 3 in front of 2, my bad, but you get the idea. Winner only the winner. If you didn't win, don't send me your driver's license, okay? It's only the winner does this. I can't tell you how many times I have a contest and I have 17 people send me their driver's license. You only send me your license if you won. If you didn't win, don't send me anything, okay? Only if you won, okay? So the winner will send me their government-issued ID showing that you're over the age of 18 or older, and you have to do that by Saturday at 2100 Eastern U.S. time, GMT -5. That email goes to john@rcvideoreviews.com, and it must include an exact mailing address for the prize, okay? Exact mailing address. If you don't include a mailing address, I can't ship it to you. You have to give me an exact mailing address, not a... it's got to be thorough. If you're not in the U.S., give me all the information I need, okay? Make it just like the post label should be read out, okay? There will be no communications via Telegram, no comms via Telegram. Do not look for Telegram. No Telegram, all right? And finally, if you don't send me an email by the deadline, I will pick an alternate winner, and I will communicate to that alternate winner that they have won, okay? So no email, no prize. If your email doesn't work, that's your problem, not mine, okay? So that's it. Those are the prize rules. Now we can get down to business and show what's up for grabs here. So this was a donation by Jumper. So this was a donation by Jumper at EdgeTX Fest, and it is a little, here, you guys know what it is. Anybody know what this is? It's a little Bumblebee radio. This is a yellow one. There are no batteries included, so I won't be shipping batteries, but it takes 18650s. It's got the OLED screen. It's Express LRS. It's got the pop-up antenna. And I was really interested in this one because of what they did with the controls up top. They've got a momentary here, 3-position switches right here on the top on the shoulder, a latching momentary here, a latching... Is that a latching? Nope, that's just a momentary. No, it is latching. That's a latching momentary there. And 2 scroll wheels. There's the USB connection there. There's the boot button for Express LRS. It's got a fan. This goes up to 1 watt. And it's an OLED screen, so you'll be able to see it in daytime. And it's got these 6 customizable switches. The interesting thing about these is they do not behave like standard 6-position switches, or you can make them behave like momentary switches. So you can have more than one locked on at a time, and you can use them just as a momentary switch. So really interesting use cases. I actually have another one of these, and I've been playing around with the buttons, and I was starting to think about all the crazy stuff you could do with that. You can use them for timer resets, telemetry resets. You can do instant trim. You could do flight modes, all kinds of different interesting combinations if you think about it. And they also light up to indicate, you can have them light up to indicate when they're on or off, and you can set their state during boot. So very interesting options with those customizable switches. It's got the jog dial here, the power button in the center, a neck lanyard, and then the trim switches are like one of those hats. It's a 4-way switch, so you can trim up, down, left, and right. And then the navigation. This is the page button. This is the model button, how you get into system settings or model settings, and that's the return key. So it's an interesting little radio. I have another one. I've been kind of fiddling around with it. I might mess around with this. This might be a really good travel radio. I like the button. I like the button layout. I'm not a big fan of the circle thing because that you have to relearn. I really would rather see the 4 in a row, just like I'm used to on my other radios, because now you have to kind of relearn the button position. But once you get over that part, it's an interesting concept. 1 watt Express LRS, OLED screen, easy to see outside, and 18650 batteries with a fan on the back. And it's EdgeTX. So very interesting little radio. This is a giveaway. It's sponsored by Jumper. So thanks, Jumper, for donating. And this is brand new, never even been powered on. And inside the box, it'll have the neck strap, the USB cable, and it looks like the little adapter if you want to put a nano module on the back. So that's included as well. So there, and the case. The case will go with it, and it'll come in a nice box. So gimme. You guys need a small travel radio, something for the kids, something just to take out in the park and run your quads around. This is an interesting little form factor. I kind of like it. So that's the giveaway. And we'll cover the rules one more time real quick. Make sure everyone's up to speed on what's going on with the rules. I will pick the winner on Wednesday. I'll announce the winner on the PilotJam a week from tonight. You have to send me an email by 2100 Eastern U.S. time the day after on the 9th. So that's Saturday. I will not communicate via Telegram, and I will mail this to you. There are no charges. I'm not going to charge for shipping. There's no charges. The only thing you're responsible for are VAT or any import taxes or duties and fees. Okay? That's it. Okay, so there you go. Giveaway. Free stuff. And thanks, Jumper, for the donation. I'm really happy that you guys did that. Okay, next up, we're going to get into the desktop for just a second. I'm going to check the comments, and I'm going to get set up for comments here. We're going to check and see what's going on. What did I miss? Give me the 4K camera, says Hobie. What? Dave says if the batteries do not perform, you're not getting the other ones back. Yeah, Dave got my RCB stuff. If you guys know the channel, I used RC battery pretty much exclusively. That's my OCD kicking in. I like to have everything be the same and look the same. So anyway, I gave, Dave is such a great asset to the channel, and he's been flying bigger stuff. He's got the 67-inch. He's got some jets now. I've been trying to help him too. So I figured, well, may as well put those batteries to good use. And so I stocked Dave up. Dave got a nice, see what that was him flying that 67-inch. He just bounced it off the runway. You saw that, right? Anyway, he needed some big batteries. So I hooked him up, and Dave's got a nice hookup now with the RCB stuff, and it's on the way. So he says that if they don't perform, I'm not getting the old ones back. I see how it is. I don't blame him. They're yours, man. They're your batteries. They're yours now. Robert says, give me the 4K camera. I don't think we're doing a 4K camera tonight, Robert. Mr. Skyrider says, better late than not. I use those batteries, and they are the bomb. I love them. Good. Glad to hear it. I'm glad to hear it. I let it out of the bag too soon. Remember the Telegram scam. Don't fall for Telegram. Props Off is here. How you doing? Props Off. Let's see. Strange. I got a Radio Master commercial just now. Oh, really? Interesting. Okay. Bill says, gonna say great little quad radio. Yeah. Gimme. You guys know the rules, right? Put it in the comments after it's all done. All right. Let's talk about this one. I have something really interesting to show you. Really interesting to show you. Now, this one You need a secret decoder ring to do this. And I'm not even kidding. You actually do kind of need a secret decoder ring. I built this I tried first in Linux and it didn't work. But then I tried in Mac using Homebrew in the terminal, and it actually worked. I pulled down a fork of Express LRS. I pulled down a tool written by Richard, who's one of the amazing developers on EdgeTX. And I was able to, let's just show you. In fact, let's do the big camera. Now, I'm going to just tell you guys right now, this is a science experiment. So do me a favor, man. Don't get in the comments and go, well, you got to be one of the cool kids to do it. No, you don't. It's all public. It's all public. So if you want to do it, you can. I was notified about this and I did it. I went and did the reading. I did ask 1 or 2 questions, but you know, I got to be honest with you. I had to solve the problem myself, but I finally got it to work, and it works. So here's what I'm going to show you. If you let's see, I don't think I have brightness on a knob on this one. That's too bad. Do I? Oh, yes, I do. How about that? There we go. Turn the brightness down a little bit. Okay. So the brightness is turned down. Now I'm going to show you the back. This is the interesting thing, right? You guys, if you know this radio, you know this is an AFH DS2 protocol. That's the internal module on this one. So no external module on this, right? But watch this. This is an Express LRS receiver. It's an ER6. We're going to power it on. So I just turned on the power there, and watch right there. You see that? Look at that. So Express LRS on a FlySky EL18. So let's see, radio settings, Express LRS. Look at that. FlySky EL18 internal Express LRS, no soldering. This is all code. This is how good these guys are. This is how good they are. So you can convert an EL18, and this is a fascinating radio to me. It really is. And one of the reasons I haven't flown with it too often is because I don't really want to carry multiple radios to the field with me. But it's got great hardware. I really like the screen layout being in the center like that with the lanyard down here on the bottom. The gimbals are fantastic. The controls are a little bit, they take some getting used to. You know, it's a little unusual compared to where we're coming from. But for a basic 4 or 6 channel model, this is a really compelling radio, and I'm going to try it some more. So it's got Express LRS now. The cool part is I can easily add any of my models to this radio, and I can just bind and try it. So Express LRS on a FlySky EL18, there it is. How about that? Same chip, right? The reason it's doable is because the chip that they use for AFH DS2 is the same chip they use. It's a Semtech chip, right, for LoRa on Express LRS, so it works. So it was a matter of writing the code for it, and the EdgeTX guys did it. So I love those guys, man. They enable these kinds of science experiments. So we're going to try it. I'm going to try it. I'm going to put it on something. I'll figure something out. I'm going to put it on some kind of airplane. I'm going to get out there and try it and fly it. I'll probably do it on a profile plane initially. And one thing I'll tell you, I don't have an answer on it yet. You notice I've got the packet rate at 100 Hertz. The reason is because anything above that, and I keep getting telemetry lost. I'm not sure why. It might be a software issue. I really don't know. I will ask the developers about it, but at 100 Hertz, it seems to be locked in, which is sufficient because I can still get 16 channels divided by 2. So it's 50 Hertz, which is fine. For flying around, it's fine. So I'm going to try it out. But there you go. FlySky EL18. How about that with Express LRS? Isn't that cool? No module. No secret sauce there. And watch what happens when I'll turn it off. Let me I think you exit. There, you exit by long pressing this button. So I still have to learn a little bit, but there we go. So we exit out, and now I'm just going to turn the receiver off. Ready? Here it goes, and watch the signal. It goes away. Off, and there goes the signal. So, yep, that's Express LRS right there. You saw it here. I don't know how many places you see stuff like this, man, but I think that's kind of cool. FlySky EL18 with Express LRS firmware on it. I think that's kind of neat. We're going to try it out. Okay. Balancing 18650s. Those guys are amazing, says Robert. They are. Johnny Stance said, looks like a mystery Klingon. You know, it does. It looks a little sci-fi, but man, I don't know what it is about this radio. I've really wanted to use it, but but I'm all Express LRS right now. So I didn't want to, I didn't want to put in different receivers and carry different radio for a specific plane. It's just not, it doesn't bode well for my memory, So having one radio works, but this one also works because it'll do with any receiver I've got. Now that I've got Express LRS and my binding phrase in it, I can bind it to any airplane I've got. I don't have to do anything. All I need is to add a model configuration and that's it. So I'm going to try it. I want to see just how this one performs. And since we're on the subject of alternate radios, I figured I'd bring this one out and give you guys a look at this too. This is the Jumper T15. And this one, I'll tell you why I was interested in this one. This is another one from the event. So thanks, Jumper, for sending the equipment out. And we did give away a lot of hardware, but this one didn't go. It didn't make it out the door. What happened was they did all the giveaways, and this was the one we were using for the quad flying. So we forgot to give it away. But anyway, I'll probably wind up giving this away too. So stand by. This will probably go. It'll be a giveaway on the channel. But here's what I found so interesting about this radio, and that's the screen. So when I turn this one on, oh, by the way, it's got those same buttons, right? So if I press, see, this is what I meant about the the customizable buttons. See, if you press that, it's off and then on. And if you press that one, it's off and on. See what I mean? It's not like a normal 6 position where you can only have one of them on. In this one, you can have any of them on. So you have this ability to, and oh yeah, look, this one, only one of the 3 can be on. And that's all configurable. So when I saw that, I thought, man, there's some crazy logic combinations you could come up with to do that. So like imagine arming, right? You could say you only arm when this is on and that's on. And then when you've done that combo, then you hit the release button and now it's armed. That's one thing you could do with it. But another thing I found really interesting about this one is check out the screen. It's a color screen. It's like a Boxer with the color screen. And I think that's kind of cool. I'm really happy to see that. Why not? This is a great form factor. I've always liked this form factor radio. And when I saw this, I'm like, yeah, I'm going to have to try that out too. So, it's got the same kind of concept on the shoulder with the depressible buttons, 2.4 gigahertz Express LRS, 2 pots right here, and 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 3, 3. So 3 position switches here, customizable here. Then you've got your it's your telemetry. So they redid these again. So that's your telemetry screen. See, you can get in your telemetry settings. Or this one is your system button to get into your system screen. Or you press that one and you get into your model settings. And if you long press that one, that gets into your model selector. So a little bit different than the TX16S, but nevertheless, an interesting little form factor of a radio. It's got the swivel handle on the back, a JR Bay, 18650 batteries, the fan for Express LRS, and the antenna. I kind of like to see them get these antennas inside. That'd be interesting too. If they got rid of all this apparatus and just put them inside, that'd be kind of cool. But what I like about this is the color screen. So kind of interesting. And it also comes with the this little rubberized gimbal protector. So that came in the kit as well. So I'll fly this around for a little bit. I'm going to give it a whirl, give it a try. The cool thing about it being Express LRS is I don't have to worry about the radio setups. It's real easy to configure to work with my planes. And all I got to do is drop a couple model configurations in there. I can go fly. So yeah, it's an amazing day, amazing world we live in these days. That's an interesting little radio. I really like the idea of the color screen on this Boxer style form factor. It's kind of like it's in between like the compact size and the full flagship radios. So again, also a travel option too. It's compact enough where you could travel with this one. So does the antenna pivot up and down? Yeah, you can pivot it up and down like that. So there you go. There's the up and down. And then it also twists, Robert. So if you have a different orientation, you can do that as well. So you got a lot of options. It's perfect. That literally is the perfect arrangement. That should cover every use case you've got. All of your antenna orientations, depending on how you like to sit. And then, if your orientation inside the craft is vertical, you can adjust it 90 degrees and do that as well. So very, very nice. Very nice. Yeah, it's a good design. I like it. The only thing that I don't like so far, that I've seen so far, is that with the 18650 batteries in here, they knock around, like they slide. Like why can't they figure this out? Like that's annoying. I'll figure it out. I'll stuff something in there. I'll put a 3D print in there or something. I'll figure something out, but it is kind of annoying to hear that sloshing around in there like that. It's like maybe put some foam on here to kind of hold it in place or something. But you know, I don't know. It's not that big of a deal, but while you're moving, it just feels sloppy. You know, you hear it. Can you guys hear that? So anyway, but you know, that's somewhat easily solvable. Not too big of a deal. Not too big of a deal. Anyway, just a couple of different radios that I got exposed to during EdgeTX Fest 2024, and it was fun. It was fun to see that. So let's see. Those guys are amazing. Give them a chance, and we're going to be flying with our watches here pretty soon. Yeah, no kidding. Wouldn't that be fun? Stick your hand on there and fly with your watch. Yeah, that'd be fun. So many choices. Yep, does the same. We covered that. Hobie hit the tip jar. Donation for EdgeTX Fest. Thanks for all you did to me. Oh, thank you, Hobie. That was really nice of you, man. Thanks for hitting the tip jar, my friend. He's such a nice guy. Brian's late for the PilotJam. Hey, Brian, we have a subject for you coming up in a few minutes, so hang tight. Glad you can make it. Cree says, I'm late too. It was great to meet everyone at EdgeTX Fest. Absolutely was great to meet you guys. Kevin says, hey, good night, everyone. Greetings from the Caribbean. Great show as per usual. Good info. Well, thanks, Kevin. Appreciate that. FL Engineers here. How you doing, Tim? I've been seriously thinking of switching to Boxer or this jumper. Yeah, man, I love the Boxer. I just wish it had a color screen and it were up top. If it had a color screen up top, that might be my primary radio. Anyway, let's see. Tim's in the house. Yep. Hobie, Robert. Okay. The battery holder is perfect for 21700s. Oh, is that the deal? You got to get a 21700 case and slide that in there, I suppose, huh? But still, man, they gotta, you know, even if they're using these, they should find a way to secure them, right? Malta's here. My T15 has a foam piece from the factory. I don't think mine came with one of those. I have to look in the box. Maybe there's something else in there I didn't see. John, let me borrow his charger. Oh, okay. Mike's here. Marcos is saying hi from Orlando. Hey, Marcos, how you doing? He had a blast and has been driving his K5. Yeah, Marcos did great. All the young people did a pretty good job collecting hardware from the event, so that's great. I'm glad to hear that, Mike. Good. Always good to see the little ones getting free stuff. A color screen up top would be amazing. Yeah, that's for me, man. That's what I want to see. Oh, we're not up to this yet. We're on the RunCam 6. All right. Let's do the big camera. We're going to move on. I wanted to, you know, so I got it. I did get a chance to fly the Bushmaster, and you guys saw that. But what I wanted to show you is how I'm fixing the camera on the Bushmaster. And this works for anything, by the way. So in what I did in this case was these cameras, the RunCams, they come with these little plastic trays. So I found a place where I wanted to mount the camera, and I laid down painter's tape first. And this was actually Dave's idea. Dave said, hey, if you lay painter's tape down, then you can peel the painter's tape off and you don't damage the shrink covering or the paint or whatever's underneath. And he's right about that. So I know that right now, if I wanted to remove this, all I got to do is remove the painter's tape and the whole apparatus comes off. So, okay, I laid down the painter's tape first. That was to protect the covering. And then I took this Scotch fiber reinforced tape and I just ran it over the saddle or the holster for the camera and just taped it down. I just taped it down to this. And there's also double-sided tape right in between the two. Let me get my pointer out here. So right in between the two, right there's some double-sided tape. So double-sided tape connects to the holster and hits the blue tape. And then for an additional layer of security, I just ran this fiber reinforced tape up, over, down, through, over, and around. And it just goes all the way around. Now, all I have to do is take the camera and just slide it in. You slide it in and it's ready to go. And that's on there. I mean, the whole, I wouldn't say you could pick up the plane with it, but it's on there. You know, I flew it in a very, very windy day and that's not going anywhere. It's on there, it's secure. So I wanted to show that to you for two reasons. One, I wanted you to see how I was mounting and to give you some mounting ideas, because on certain planes, you might have to put it on, say, a cowl or a canopy, and those are painted. And I was really struggling with that for a while. Like, how do you do it without damaging the surface? Because you don't want to do that. And the painter's tape trick worked great for that. And then second, the other reason I wanted to do this and show you was to let you know that we'll be adding another view into some of the flying. And I used to do this kind of thing years ago, especially with FPV. You know, when I was doing FPV, what I haven't done as much in terms of like 3D or helicopter flying with these types of cameras. But in order to kind of spice things up on the videos a little bit, I'm going to go ahead and use this technique and use this mounting technique on different airplanes. So, you know, we're out flying, you can see how they do. Obviously, it's still on the Bushmaster, and the reason for that is because I'm taking the Bushmaster out tomorrow. So I want to put it on there and actually do some flying with the Bushmaster tomorrow. The Maiden, we really didn't get to do too much flying because it was such a nasty, windy day. And that was also the day we were doing the battery testing for China Hobbyline. So I'm going to leave it on there tomorrow. Maybe we'll get some footage and we'll make a video out of that too. So anyway, bottom line, the RunCam 6, the reason I bought this one was because of the mounting capability. It's all self-contained. You don't need any wires. It's battery powered. It's got the SD card on the back. It's configurable via the QR codes. You can put the QR code, and it's got Wi-Fi, so you can configure that way. Sorry, I did say QR code, but I don't think so. I think it's Wi-Fi. I don't know that this one does QR code or not. I may be mistaken on that. Don't hold me to that. But I know for sure it does Wi-Fi, and you can configure it right on your phone. So, and you can configure it so that when you turn it on, it starts recording, it does loop recording, and it has the gyro built in. So that was another reason I opted for this over the RunCam 2, is because of the integrated gyro. And from what I could tell, it did a really nice job on the Bushmaster. The gyro effect on this is really good. So that's RunCam 6. And they're available all over. It's not hard to get these right now if you're interested in one of these, RunCam 6. So that'll be the camera, the in-flight camera that we'll start using on some of our flights for the channel. Just to add a little variety, you know. Discord, I just don't understand Discord. You got to get in there and ask around, man. People will help you. It's all good. All right, next up is Q&A. We're getting close. Let's go to the we'll go to the Blackboard, and we're going to shut down the giveaway rules, and we're going to bring up the Q&A. There we go. Not bad. Not bad. I'm going to check comments before I move on, though. Let's see. Life's a cult. Love your channel. Used to get back into flying and programming my TX16S. Well, thank you, man. I'm glad to hear it. So I'm always glad to hear when people are using my videos to get themselves up to speed on the technology out there. Malta says, Crease, my daughter flies with a T15 since a couple months and is really happy with it. Yeah, it seems like a nice little radio. I kind of like it. The Bushmaster is one big sexy beast. I agree, man. That's a cool looking plane. And with all the controls and the crow and all that, we're going to hopefully have some fun with it tomorrow. Propsoft says, Gorilla Tough and Clear is the absolute best double sticky. Okay. Very good. Good to hear an endorsement from somebody who probably uses a lot of the stuff. Captain Bry, looking forward to those new camera angles. Okay, very good. Yeah, we'll cover them, Brian. They'll be out there. Crease says, yes, Wi-Fi on the RC6, and you get a preview of the video feed over Wi-Fi as well. Yep, that's right. In-flight videos are awesome. Blackboard needs to be clean. Yeah, it does. Hey, before I get into this, oh, no, you know what? There's a question on that, so we're going to cover it. We're going to cover it. We're going to get into it. Don't worry. And Brian's here, so Brian maybe can help keep us honest. But since it's out in the wild, Brian, I assume that it's public knowledge, the thing we talked about at EdgeTX Fest. I assume that it's public because people are asking about it. So, okay. First up on the Q&A, this is Titan K-Online, Titan K-Online. I don't know if I have that right. He says 11 minutes in, what's the best way to copy models from ETX? So this is a thing that I actually talked to the developers about at EdgeTX Fest. I had two requests. One request was probably a little complicated for a PilotJam, but I asked them for an abstraction layer between the hardware and the software so that we can define functions and have those functions transposed from radio to radio. Confused? I barely understand it, and I'm the one who brought it up. So think of it like this. If I were to go into a radio and say, I want to define a function like throttle lock, and that function says, do this, and do this, and I can identify in my radio, use this switch, and this switch. And then on my other radio, I define a throttle lock, and I say, do this, and do this. Now, when I activate the throttle lock, I no longer activate that sequence of events. I simply activate the function throttle lock. Make sense? So that's the idea, is I asked for another way to think about it is beta flight, rotor flight. They effectively are abstraction layers between the transmitter and the servos, right? They interpret between what the radio does and what the servos see. So I brought up this concept of an abstraction layer and had about a 40-minute conversation with Raphael about it. And he said, yeah, that's actually something we should be thinking about. The problem has to do with memory. But some of those memory constraints go away with some of the new hardware that's coming out. So that was one thing that I asked for. And then another thing that I asked for was simplified model transfers. I said it would really be nice to have a Dropbox folder on a radio where we could just drop any old YAML we wanted and the radio would figure out what to do with it. And the reason for that is because I get a lot of questions like this one. How do you use an ETX file? How do you get an exact copy? I've asked on Discord. I've been told export in ETX is the best way, but I'm still working on that. Those are all, everything is viable. Like if you're up to speed on the platform, all of that stuff is doable, right? That's not the hard part. But what happens if I say give somebody a model 25.yaml and say, here's my model configuration, and they drop that on their radio and it replaces their model 25.yaml? Well, that's no good, right? So the idea is, could we have a Dropbox folder on the radio where anybody could drop any old model configuration we have, and the radio takes care of putting it in the right place, adding it to the list, incrementing the index number, and then the labels system obviously would do a real-time scan and add it to the list. So those are the two requests I have. But when it comes down to the more complex questions about importing and moving, what I like to do is say, try Companion. Companion's a pretty good option where you can open two model configurations side by side and copy and paste if you need to. If you're not familiar with using the YAML files directly, Companion is probably your next best option. All right, Erwinny fixed 9026 says, thanks so much. I spent 8 hours looking for this problem. I wanted to send the receivers back. Now everything works. Thank you so much for this video. Express LRS arming doesn't matter. So here's why I'm glad Brian is here. So I'm going to go ahead and spill it, Brian. I was talking to Brian in Express LRS 4.0. It sounds like we're getting rid of that aux1 arming. So one of the early questions in the PilotJam was, what's with the wizardry in aux1 channel 5 that's coming up? And according to Brian, in LRS 4.0, they're getting rid of it, which is, thank you guys. I just can't thank you enough for solving that issue. While I realize the importance and the concept of arming, I know what it means. I get it. I understand why you do it the way you did it. I understand that. But it literally is one of the most asked questions I deal with when it comes to Express LRS. I've made videos about it multiple times. So hearing that just makes me absolutely ecstatic that hopefully it will now become a function of the radio and they'll deal with arming in their own special way, whatever black magic they use to do it. But having 16 fully proportional channels with no longer a requirement to eat a channel for arming, at least the channel the user might use, is absolutely fantastic news. So I'm really happy with that. And hopefully these videos will become outdated and no longer relevant. So I'm really looking forward to that one. Let's see. Life's a Cult. Can you use TX16 6-position switch as 6 individual momentary switches? Yep, you can. Well, I'd say latching momentary, to be clear, because you can't, when you press the button, it stays on until you press another one. So that's called a latching momentary, not a pure momentary. Like the T15 I just showed, all of those can be configured as latching or a pure momentary. Captain Bryce says, for full res mode, yeah, channel 5 becomes normal and ARM is a special function. Yes, there it is. There it is. That is right from the horse's mouth. You guys saw it here. That's so cool. Yay. I'm so happy to hear that, man. Oh my gosh. I don't have any yay sounds. I thought I had some clapping monkeys in here. I don't know where they went. Hold on a second. Do I have my clapping monkeys in here somewhere? I don't know. They're gone. I'm going to have to put those back, but dang it. If I had clapping monkeys, I'd play them right now. But Captain Bryce says, for full res mode, yeah, channel 5 becomes normal. And ARM is a special function. ELRS dev Mickey did all the work. Big props. Good job, Mickey. Where do we send the beer? That's all I can say. That's fantastic news. I almost have a tear in my eye. I'm so happy to hear that. You have no idea. It's just fantastic news. All right. Very, very good. Clap, clap, clap. That's right. Also does the EdgeTX changes. Yeah. Okay. All right. So there you go. It's been spilled. It's out. It's official. All right. 2.4 gig RC says, how come you never did a flight review on this? Hey, Dave's here. Maybe ask Dave. Dave. No, I'm just teasing. The reason is because Dave's building it, and Dave, we've had Dave on back order. One of the channel members who happens to be live with us tonight has been eating all of Dave's time with his special Bushmaster build. So Dave's been working on his plane and not my stuff. No, I'm just kidding, man. It's all good. We had plenty to do, plenty of new stuff to play around with. So the Edge 540, yes, man, I'm anxious to fly it. Dave's going to start working on it pretty soon, and we'll get that one up. So 2.4, he's keeping me honest, man. That plane's going to fly, and I bet it's going to be fantastic. I can't wait to fly it. So hang tight, man. It's all coming. Hang tight. Can you please describe how you cut out the ventilation with a knife with a heated edge? So this is another one of those Dave, see, Dave's helping me learn new stuff. I used to cut out holes, ventilation holes. I just use a really sharp knife. And it does the job. It's effective. But Dave said, hey man, try one of these heated blades. They tend to work better because they cut and seal at the same time. And lo and behold, of course, he was right. He was right. So what I would suggest to you guys, if you don't have them, go to any hobby store has them. They're not fancy. They use number 11 blades, and you can go out and put them in a heat gun, plug them in, and you can cut your ventilation. Just use the tip. Don't put a lot of the metal against the heat shrink at a time, and practice somewhere where it's not visible. Like, you know, make a practice piece and cut on it first. But yeah, a heated knife to cut ventilation is spectacular. So much better than using any other method I've found. Look at Hobie hitting the tip jar again for another tip for ELRS Channel 5. Isn't that great, man? I'm so happy about that. Oh, I'm telling you, I almost had a tear. I got goosebumps when he said that. Like, Channel 5, we get it back. What's funny, Dave was hooking up Hobie's Bushmaster today. I'm not even kidding. He was doing it today. We had a talk when I went out for my run. And during my run, I'm talking with Dave. He goes, how do you want this wired? I said, okay, you're going to put aileron 1 on channel 1, then flap 1 on channel 2, and then elevator on channel 3, and then throttle on channel 4, and then just skip channel 5. And Dave's like, what the hell are you talking about, skip channel 5? I'm like, just trust me, skip channel 5, put the rudder on channel 6, flap on channel 7, aileron on channel 8. So and I know there are ways to remap. I know all of that stuff, right? I know. But if you have the pins, why deal with it? So we just skip it, right? So anyway, Dave's like, what are you talking about, man? Why are you skipping? I'm like, it's an Express LRS thing. Just let it happen. He goes, okay, you're the boss. You have no idea, man. That channel, Brian, that channel 5, it permeates my life. It doesn't go away. I'm so excited. I really am. I like a kid in a candy store with that. Anyway, heated knife, that does the job. ARM still works the same in the LRS, but it becomes like a 17 channel and you set up however you want. Switch, logic edition is special. Oh man, that's so cool. I love it. All right. Jamie says, I'm impressed by the incredible sound of the inducted fan. Yeah. The 90 millimeter, man, it really sounded good. We're going to fly the hell out of that plane. I'm going to tell you right now, we're going to fly that plane. We're going to get it out. We're going to put it through its paces. But that 90 millimeter really did sound good. All I can tell you guys, if you play around with EDF jets, if you want one that flies, get an Avani. I've flown so many of them. And I'll tell you another really damn good EDF, a smaller one. The 64 millimeter Futura is hands down the best 64 millimeter EDF I've ever flown. Absolutely the best, hands down. All right, Swim and Swim. Swim Adam Swim. He says, so helpful, and thanks for your efforts. I probably dumb question. I bought a Jumper T15. We were just talking about that. Is there a simple way to import the model? See, this is what I'm talking about. Malta, you're here. You know, I was talking to Raphael about this. He said the easy way is for one of the developers to pick it up and make it a thing. Oh, he's talking too. Malta's talking, so I know he's live. He says probably not a special function, but model level setting. Okay. 5 is one of my favorite numbers. I love using channel 5. Yeah, I know. Dave's here too, man. We got the whole crew here tonight. This is awesome. Brian says, "Law with you, man. Worst thing that made it into 1.0, and now we're wrapped around." I'm so glad it's over, man. It's like a nightmare. I'm glad it's over, dude. I really am. I just want to give you a hug, Brian. Virtual hug, man. And a fist bump to go with it. Nice job. Anyway, so Myalta, this is another one. You know, is there a simple way to just import the models from OpenTX into EdgeTX? And I know the binary. See, the problem there's a problem with this, right? This question, he's talking about OpenTX, and I put the video out a year ago that OpenTX is dead. OpenTX is dead. It's no longer under development. So, you know, it's at the point right now, if you're staying on OpenTX, that your migration paths are getting uglier and uglier, right? Because you're going to have to do unnatural things like, you know, flash a pre 2.9 version on your radio, like a 2.8.3, then put your configuration files on, have them converted, then flash 10.5. So it's kind of starting to get ugly. You kind of have to keep up. And so that, you know, I'm not asking for the converter to be put back into the firmware. Absolutely not. That's not what I'm suggesting, but it would be nice if there were some form of Dropbox where a YAML file could just be dropped in. What would really be nice is YAML and an image, if they could both be dropped in and have the radio deal with it. That'd be great. But yeah, it's starting to get ugly if you're still on OpenTX. Like, you have to start jumping through some hoops to make it happen. And I suppose that Buddy might handle it or Companion might have some, but I don't care. You know, honestly, OpenTX is dead, man. It's time to get past it, right? Get past it. I'm not training myself anymore or teaching myself anymore about OpenTX conversion. At this point, I'm really focused on EdgeTX. So, okay, let's see. JCE, he says, what version of EdgeTX? Do you have any information or videos of someone using the TX16S on giant gasoline model aircraft? So I generally keep my EdgeTX on my production stuff pretty current with mainline stuff. So right now I'm flying, I think it's 2.10.5 is the latest. And this is a question, and I'll admit, I'm going to fall on the sword and say, I don't know IC setups at all. I'm not even going to pretend. I don't know. What I don't understand, though, is why do the gas guys, the IC guys, think that it's different? That's what I don't understand. Like, I fly a TX16S transmitter and Express LRS on everything. I fly it on expensive helicopters, expensive fixed wing, and you know, I don't understand why they think there's why they think it matters. The radio's fine, the transmitter's fine. I would trust the RF tech more than, well, I mean, the proof's in the pudding. I trust it more than anything else because that's what I use. So this kind of question, this makes me scratch my head because I'm just not familiar enough with the IC space to give an answer that says, well, here's something you need to think about. I just don't know. But what I can say is I don't know what difference it would make. So my recommendation would be get EdgeTX radio, get Express LRS, get some good Express LRS receivers, and don't look back. That's what I'd recommend. And that's what I put in comments to this guy. So I'll see. Mr. Giovanni says, my TX16S has firmware 2.8 and multi-module version 13320. Should I update both firmware and multi-module version? Yes, it is a good idea. It's not strictly required, but I know they do, when they do development, sometimes they add features that may be dependent on the new multi-module. So I think that's the case, but in any event, whenever I flash an updated version of EdgeTX, when I was using a 4-in-1, I would update that as well. And for the record, when I do update my radio EdgeTX, I'm not talking about the minor versions, so like, you know, 2.10.3, 10.4, 10.5, I don't worry about that. But when I do a major version, like, you know, 2.9 to 2.10, then I upgrade Express LRS to whatever's latest. So, you know, I kind of do a flash party just to make sure I keep things current. Whether or not you lose current settings on your airplanes, the answer is, I assume he means bindings. No, you don't lose bindings when you upgrade your multi-module firmware. All right. Let's see. 8DLET, I can't say that. 8DA11EN, whatever that means. I just got into building flight test planes. I'm so impressed with how well they fly. The Mustang's on my short list now. You know, this brings me back when I saw this comment, because when I first got started in flying after the slow stick, I started with a slow stick, one of the GWS slow sticks. Yeah, one of those. And that's how I first got back into radio control after a long hiatus. And I enjoyed that airplane, had fun with it. Once I got, you know, up and down on orientations again, The very first plane I built was one of these flight test Mustangs. And I flew that around until I folded the wings, and I built another one the same day and flew it around some more. These are a really, really good option because they're super cheap. They use super cheap hardware. You can build one in about a day. You got $2 in the foam board and about $40 in the electronics, and you can go out and teach yourself how to fly. And if you crash, no big deal. Just build another one. It's no big deal. So these are a really, really good option, and they fly really well. I mean, they fly well enough where you can learn how to fly a plane. You can get your orientations worked out. You can get your turning worked out, your maneuvers, teach yourself a few tricks, and they just fly really well. So that's one of the things. I'll always have a soft spot in my heart for flight test planes. Now, of course, I've moved on, foamies, and now the bigger balsa and the helicopters. So I've kind of moved away from this a little bit, but these are great little airplanes. Especially if you have little ones at home, if you have little ones and you're trying to get them off a trainer, maybe off a buddy box, this might be a good way to go, dads. You want to get those kids involved, get in that flight test stuff, and get some of those planes built. And they've got a lot of options out there too. So make sure you check out Flight Test. I'll always have a very fond space in my heart for their airplanes. Are they the most beautiful planes in the world? No. Are they the most durable? No. They're not going to last forever. But who cares? It's part of the fun is building and spending time together and enjoying it. So wear them out. Fly them until you wear them out, and then build another one. All right, let's see. Mike G says, wow, he was flying with the EdgeTX radio. I've only ever seen Bert fly V-control. Yeah. So, I asked permission before we did it. And I said, hey, you okay if we film this? And can I interview you after? And he said, yeah. So, it was good to see Bert flying EdgeTX. And he flew my radio. He flew with my raw 580, with Nexus, with rotor flight, with Express LRS. So, and when he landed, he made a comment about sensitivity. And I think I saw a comment in Discord. The question was about the sensitivity around center. The answer is, yeah, I had 20% expo. We added 30. We changed it to 30% expo, and Bert flew it again and liked it better. So, but expo is a personal thing. It's a personal thing. So it's really, how you like it. So anyway, that's the answer. It was great to see Bert flying that EdgeTX radio. This is another apologist for the failures on the B6 Neo. He says, take them apart and change the fan thermal paste. No. If I had a charger in my life that I had for a year and I loved it and it served me well and worked hard in Florida heat and the fan died, sure, I don't have any problems doing this kind of work. I know how to do this kind of stuff. But I'm sorry, 80% failure rate, 4 of them out of 5 died in the first week of use. No, that's not an excuse. If you're going to put that type of electronics in a small package, make sure the cooling works, bottom line. Yeah, that's their job though, not mine. So I'm not going to go in and pay the money for the charger and then pay the money to fix the charger. And oh, by the way, that screen, once you peel that screen off, it's never going to be right again. It's never going to be right again. Those chargers are absolute crap. They should be shunned, burned, and disgraced for being on the market. And I'll stand by that. I still stand by it. I'm not going to take brand new hardware and fix it for the manufacturer. Absolutely not. All right, Carl C9773 says, I fitted a Copilot light to a... Hold on a second. I got to go back to this because I just realized something. When I say fix it, I'm talking about an engineering flaw that's perpetual. Like when we build models, we know sometimes you got to, sand this, file that. That's fine, right? Because you're talking about an imperfect thing like wood and glue and jigs, but not when it comes to electronics, right? I have no place for that. They should work out of the box. Infant mortality at this high of a rate is unacceptable. That's the correction I'd offer. Okay. Carl C says, I fitted a Copilot light to a Dart 250 hard 3-blade prop. Hardly and again, I don't know what that means. CG is correct, but I'm getting porpoising. That sounds mechanical to me. I can tell you that the controller works great. So if you're having porpoising issues, that sounds like a mechanical issue to me. Something's fluttering, something's loose, the control's loose, servo arm's loose, quick connector's loose, something's not right. Something's not right. And if it is porpoising, you say CG is correct, but what does that mean? I would investigate that as well. Okay, Freddie, this is our own Fast Freddie. He says, fun time. This is in reference to the EdgeTX highlights film. He said, a fun time had by all. Thanks, John, for all the work you put into this event. He said, thank you, John, for all the work you put in to pull off this event in spectacular fashion. and great editing on the video. I think he captured the essence of the event perfectly in this video. I think he's right. I think that was a very insightful comment by Fred. I was there both days, the whole time, and he nailed it exactly right. He captured the essence of the event in the video, and that's what I was aiming for. So thanks, Fred. Appreciate you. And again, big shout out to the Edge team for their efforts. They were amazing guys to work with. I really enjoyed my time with them. Mike Morales, who says, what a fun event. I'm blown away by the generosity of EdgeTX and RCVR, and I wish the field was about 30 minutes closer so I could be an every week flyer with you all. Great club. Well, Mike, you know, anytime, man, you're always welcome to come back and join us. We'd love to have you visit with us, and you get a couple of visits per year, but you know, if you can make it out, you know where it is now. Come on out and fly with us. And for other events, you're not too far away. You can make those too, right? Absolutely. David Parker, we got David on the Q&A tonight. What a great event. Not much more to say. You covered it all. Watching the kids' faces. This is why I included David's comments. Watching the kids' faces when they fly the model airplanes for the first time is priceless. RCVR and the sponsors were generous. Thank you, EdgeTX team and their families. Yeah, that's right. Their families were here too, and also wonderful people. The kids, we had kids, young members of the Edge team families were there. Some of the wives were there. It was really great. We had a great time with all of them. I hope they come back sometime. I agree, Dave. I hope they come back as well. It was really fun to spend the time with that group. And that's it. That's the end of the Q&A. So great comments. We actually got Dave and Fred together in one Q&A session on a PilotJam. How about that? Let's see. I'm going to check comments, and we're going to get going. Spin Launch Glide says, oh, wait, let's see. Hold on. Robert Burrow. Rob's here too. Wow, we really have got the crowd here. The gas guys are old and are scared of new radio links. Is that it? That's it, huh? Mylta says they were careful with the LRS and their ignition setup, at least as good as other systems. I agree, man. I trust everything I've got to Express LRS. Keith says, I use it on mine. Works perfectly. Good to hear. ELRS and IC are a match made in heaven. Perfect. Rob says, I've used ER8 on a 70cc gasser. Link quality is great. I couldn't agree more, man. Link quality, it's like one of those things I just don't even worry about anymore. With Express LRS, it's just there. It's just there. It works. Bryce says, I built an FT Mustang too. You know I love those planes. Yeah, you have a nice little high wing foam board plane too, don't you, Bry? That you brought out to a couple of times. Spin Launch Glide says, so thankful for ELRS. Was flying in a comp at squinting distance and never had to worry about the connections. It's winning over a lot of guys. Yeah, it absolutely is, man. Express LRS is definitely the tech. I think it's the way to go. Glad to see Rob Burrow made it, man. Glad to see you here, Robert. Let's see. Mike Morales working through a flash party right now on so many radios in ELRS. I've been there, done that, my friend. Flash radio, flash party, no doubt. Let's see. Captain Bry, when OTA firmware, OTA firmware upgrade. Now we're talking. That'd be cool. That'd be really neat to be able to say, oh, hey, your receiver's not up to date. You want me to flash it? Yes, please. That'd be great. When CRSF adds file transfer, no space for firmwares. Now they'll figure it out. All right, let's see. Props off. Nothing like creating a nightmare for new pilots starting out. Doesn't take much to make them quit. That's true. That's true. Great one, Freddie Grammarly for the win. Again, thanks, Dave, John, Freddie. Yeah, you're welcome, Hobie. That was fun. Nice comments by those guys, right? Malta says, thanks for all your help with the fest and for me, sadly. I know, Malta. I was sad that you couldn't make it, man. I was sad to hear that. I was looking forward to meeting you. Brian says, sorry I did not get to meet you, Malta. You're still a legend. Yes, he is. When John reads my over comments late, they reference your story on the Charger. Okay, I'll have to revisit that later. Props off. All right, let's get back to the desktop and let's see what's coming up. Oh, what's coming up? We've got some stuff coming up. All right, that's Q&A. Been a heck of a PilotJam, huh? All right, let's talk about what's coming up. So if you follow SAB, they just recently released a new line. It's the Genesis, and I'm not sure. It's like it was meant to be an F3A successor, and I think the story I got was they weren't happy. It was excellent, but not excellent enough for F3A, so they kind of converted it for use in 3D and sport flying, and that's me. That's me. If you watch the way I fly helicopters, that's me. I'm more of a sport pilot. So Genesis Mini. They have two sizes. There's a 700 class and a 420. So I went ahead and picked up the 420 or pre-ordered it. So that's on the way. We're going to see a Genesis. I've already ordered all the equipment. I've ordered the motor, the servos, of course, the Nexus Fly Barless and RP3-H. That's all on the way. In fact, most of that equipment's going to be here tomorrow. I just have to wait for the pre-order to come true. And that'll be in my hands. We'll get that built and flown as well. So looking forward to flying that. That's another 420 class heli from SAB. So that's inbound. And then, of course, this bad boy. This is the one we're waiting on Dave to finish up. So this is the Edge 540 in the dark red and white scheme. This is 67-inch, and it's being built soon. It's soon. So we'll get a video on that just as soon as possible. And it is a fantastic looking model. And I can't wait to get that out there. And then somehow I skipped, let me see. I don't know how I managed to do it. I skipped right over it. I went from ELR18 with the ELR-SC. This is what happens. You don't follow an agenda. I skipped right over it. The balancing 18650s. I had one other thing I wanted to show you. Let's see. Dave says next RCVR fly-in. It'll be a blast. Try to make it. Yeah. Remember, RCVR flying. We're going to start advertising for that soon. That's the last weekend in January. Don't forget about that. Yeah. Thanks for the reminder, Dave. Okay. Let's see. I'm going to bring up the big camera. And I just wanted to show you guys a quick little tip. And there's a link for this in the description. So you can check the description and get a link for this. But if you charge your batteries inside your radio, if you use one of these 18650 rigs, you know, if you're using one of these and you've got the 2S connection, you can charge inside your radio and it's got a balance circuit. But I've noticed over time on mine, when I pull them out and check the balance, they're not always exactly where I want to see them in terms of balance. So when the EdgeTX guys were here, we had to charge a bunch of these. And if you don't have a mains connection, a lot of chargers these days won't do a charge with just a 2S lead unless it sees a mains connection. Obviously, there are some ways to do that. You could solder a mains lead here and here, yeah, and connect that and use that for a mains lead. There are ways you can handle it. However, I thought I'd share with you just this really simple little gadget. You can either make this yourself or they're $3. Link is in the description at buddyrc.com. And what this is, if you see what's going on here, you've got a male balance receptacle, and this is a 2S balance lead, right? So you've got a ground, then hot. And then they feed off of that a female balance lead that goes into your charger and a mains connection. And the mains connection is simply connected to the outer and inner pin. That's it. The outer ground, the inner ground. Sorry, the outer voltage, the inner ground. And that's it. So that gives you the 2S voltage on the mains lead. So if you connect one of these to your lithium ion pack, you can balance charge like that. So you can balance charge both your cells. So I just wanted to throw that out there as a little, how do you do, little tip, pro tip for you. You can balance charge that way on just about any charger. XT60 lead, 2S balance lead, you connect it to the balance port on your tray, and you can plug those right in and get them balanced. And I do recommend you do that from time to time. Take these trays out of your radio and put them on a proper balance charger and balance charge them correctly. So link in the description for these. They're $3. You can get them on buddyrc.com. $3. So there you go. I don't know how we managed to skip that one, but that's it. Okay. So that's the balancing 18650s. We did the RunCam 6. We did the Q&A, and we did the coming up segment, which means we are at an end. I'm going to check comments one more time. We're going to wrap this video up. Hobie says, Southern Hemisphere heli. I heard the rotor blades spin the opposite way down there. Is that true? Dave's got some planes to build, finish. Yes, he does. Yes, he does. And he's working on them. I think he's working on something today, Hobie. Mike Morales, so Captain Bry, when is 4.0? That's a great question. It just got started, so 6 months. Okay, well, that'll be worth the wait. 6 months. So we'll start badgering him in 3, right? FL Engineer says, you kill me with the schedule. I'm booked last weekend of January every year. Sorry, man, that's the event, last weekend of January. You got to set your priorities a little better, Tim, man. I got to get on your calendar earlier. Mike Morales says, John, do you know if MT12 will be an EdgeTX companion? Yeah, I think they're scheduled. If you go look at the milestones, you should see it. I think it's due. Milt is here. Yep, 211. There it is. Thanks, Captain. Good to know when that's going to happen. Hobie, I would, but it's a semi-mandatory work. Semi-mandatory. See, it's not mandatory. So there's the opening. I heard you can come. That's what I heard. Jeff said, awesome show tonight, John. It's nice to be back on a Friday night. Well, thanks, Jeff. I appreciate you. I know I missed you guys, man, but life happens. You got to deal with it. Trumpington, Sir Trumpington says later, fellas. And Mike says, Malta, great. Isn't that what? Okay. All right. Looks like just chit chat. So that's it. That puts us at a good stopping point. So tomorrow, Dave and I are going to fly. We're going to get the Bushmaster out. There's definitely going to be some helicopter flying, and upcoming, I'll also be doing some torture testing on the China Hobby Line batteries. We're going to see how they perform over time as well. So keep an eye out on the channel for updates. There'll be more EdgeTX Fest material on the way, and that's all I've got for tonight. I hope you guys had a great time with me tonight. I had a great time with you. That's all I've got for tonight. Have a great weekend, and you know what I say, your money, your hobby, get out there and fly something. Take it easy.